आई केम आप लोग सब उपस्थित हो गए हैं। मैं यूट्यूब में थी। ओके, वेलकम टू ऑल ऑफ यू। नमो नारायणाय। यस, वी कैन स्टार्ट। दिस इज ऑल। आप सबको मैं म्यूट करती हूँ, हैं, क्योंकि आवाज बहुत हो रही है। यस, ओके, लेट्स स्टार्ट विद आवर प्रेयर्स। ओम श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं। शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। अभी वर्स नंबर 22 से देख रहे हैं। रागेच्छा सुख दुःखादि बुद्धौ सत्यां प्रवर्तते सुषुप्तौ नास्ति तन्नाशे तस्माद् बुद्धेस्तु नात्मनः। एक मिनट में पंखा। यस। प्रकाशोर्कस्य तो यस्य शैत्यम् अग्नेर्यतोष्णता स्वभाव सच्चिदानंद नित्य निर्मलतात्मनः आत्मनः सच्चिदंशश्च बुद्धिर्वृत्तिरिति द्वयम् संयोज्य च विवेकेन जानामीति प्रवर्तते। बहुत आवाज होती होगी ना इसकी, पंखा की आवाज बहुत होती होगी। आत्मनो विक्रिया नास्ति बुद्धिर्बोधो न जात्विति जीवः सर्वमलं ज्ञात्वा ज्ञाता दृष्टेति मुह्यते रज्जु सर्पवदात्मानं जीवं ज्ञात्वा भयं वहेत् नाहं जीवः परात्मेति ज्ञातश्चेन्निर्भयो भवेत्। आत्मभासयत्येक आत्मावभासयत्येको बुद्ध्यादीनिन्द्रियाणि दीपो घटादिवत् स्वात्मा जडैस्तैर्नावभास्यते स्वबोधेनान्यबोधेच्छा बोधरूपतयात्मनः न दीपस्यान्यदीपेच्छा यथा स्वात्मा प्रकाशने। तो I'll leave these verses on this thing because we are going to maybe refer to it. तो verse number 27 और 28 में we saw that Atma or consciousness is not an object. It is present in our every experience, right? Yeah. So Atma is the consciousness which is present in our experience right now. So the consciousness by which, You know what is happening in your room, कि अभी मेरे आसपास में क्या चल रहा है, क्या मेरे सामने स्वामिनी बात कर रही है, क्या, क्यों पता है? Because of the presence of consciousness, you know what is happening all around you, right? And for me, the consciousness by which I know what I am saying and doing right now, वो ही consciousness आत्मा है, ठीक है? तो हमारे हर अनुभव में it is present in our every single experience. Consciousness is present in our every single experience means consciousness does not have to be revealed. इति, क्योंकि वो ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंट है, हमारे अनुभव में प्रेजेंट है, हम कॉन्शियस है इसीलिए तो हम कुछ बोल सकते हैं। तो फिर हम ये आत्मबोध हम क्यों स्टडी करें? आप बोल रहे हैं कि कॉन्शियसनेस अभी हमारे साथ है, अनुभव में है, ऑलरेडी वो स्वप्रकाश है, ठीक है? तो ये आत्मबोध ऐसे हम अभी पढ़ रहे हैं, तो हम ये क्यों पढ़े जब वो हमारे साथ ऑलरेडी पढ़े है इति? So we say that we need to study Atmabodha, okay? The problem is not that Atma is absent from our experience. We need to study Atma because there are many wrong conclusions. गलत निष्कर्ष है, काफी है आत्मा के बारे में, मीन्स मेरे बारे में, अपने बारे में काफी गलत निष्कर्ष है, wrong conclusions are there about Atma, and each wrong conclusion is like a superimposition. जैसे we saw orange superimposed on the clear crystal, इसी तरह से जो हमारी गलत निष्कर्ष है, that is an adhyasa, it is a imposition on Atma, and the problem with that superimposition is we suffer. नहीं तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, सुपरइम्पोजिशन होने दो, what does it matter? It matters because we are suffering. And so the wrong conclusion is of the nature. What is the wrong conclusion like? It is of the nature that Atma or our consciousness is affected. कि हम affect हो रहे हैं, जब मेरे बॉडी बीमार हो रहा है तो मैं बीमार हूं, मैं बीमार हूं, जब बॉडी बीमार है तो मैं बीमार हूं, दैट मीन्स मैं अफेक्ट हो रही हूं, मेरी कॉन्शियसनेस अफेक्ट हो रही है. दिस इज द काइंड ऑफ फीलिंग दैट वी हैव, राइट? हमारी माइंड बहुत रेस्टलेस है, मन के अंदर हर तरह की मीन्स रेस्टलेसनेस बहुत है, चंचलता बहुत है. देन मुझे क्या लगता है, मैं चंचल हूं, आई एम रेस्टलेस, मेरे अंदर ये चंचलता है इति. So the purpose of Atmabodha is to remove this wrong conclusion. हमने जो गलत निष्कर्ष बनाई है, या हमने we have made these wrong conclusions about ourselves, and purpose of Atmabodha is to remove the wrong conclusion. Correct? Why? Because the wrong conclusion is making us suffer. So the purpose of Atmabodha is remove the wrong conclusion and help us to discover what is the true nature of Atma. It is like, वो जो हम बोलते हैं ना, जो सांप था एक अंधेरा गलियारे में, in some dark alley, एक सांप पड़ा था, हमें लगा, पर जहां वो सांप था वहीं क्या पड़ा था, रस्सी पड़ा था. There was a rope exactly in the same place. पर हमने क्या किया, एक सांप की अध्यास रस्सी के ऊपर किया इति, और वो अध्यास के कारण हमें क्या हुआ, भय आया, राइट? इट लेड टू आवर सफरिंग. तो फिर सॉल्यूशन क्या था कि रिमूव द स्नेक, सांप को निकाल दो. कैसे निकालना है सांप को? by negating the reality of the snake. जो हमें लग रहा था कि सांप इतना सत्य है, वो सांप की सत्यता को का निषेध करना है। और साथ ही साथ जब सांप की सत्यता का निषेध होता है, उसी समय क्या होता है? वी डिस्कवर द रियलिटी ऑफ द रोप, कि रस्सी की सच्चाई को हमें पता हो जाता है। इति सो negation is involved. We have to negate. You have to negate the snake. Supposing now it is very dark, a dark road में you are standing next. Okay, I'm standing with you, and then you are saying, "Oh no, oh my, snake, snake! There is a snake!" And then I'm getting so worried. Look, look, there's a snake. Then I am telling you that no, there is no snake there. What do you say? No, there is a snake there. I can see the snake. It's right there. That means what? Just by telling you the truth that it is a rope. If I tell you कि नहीं वो सांप नहीं है, वो तो रस्सी है. If I tell you नहीं, supposing I don't say सांप नहीं है, I just say वो रस्सी है. So just by telling you वो रस्सी है, by telling you the truth, your conclusion that it is a snake doesn't go away. I have to first negate the snake. कि नहीं वो सांप नहीं है, वो रस्सी है. इस तरह से बोलना पड़ेगा कि जो आपको सांप दिख रहा है वो सांप नहीं है, वो तो रस्सी ही है. इसी तरह से मुझे बताना पड़ेगा. That means I have to negate the snake in order for you to discover the rope. Correct? In the same way, if I just say that your true nature is Satchidananda Atma, it will not work unless it is preceded by negation. पहले निषेध करना ही पड़ेगा. Correct? I will have to negate, and only then. So to gain the knowledge of this Atma, which is Swaprakash, which is self-revealing consciousness, first what do you require? You require to negate, saying आत्मा क्या नहीं है. पहले मुझे वो बताना पड़ेगा आपको कि आत्मा, what is आत्मा not इति. Okay, so that's how we come to the verse number 29. निषिद्य निखिलोपाधीन नेति नेतीति वाक्यतः विद्यादैक्यं महावाक्यैः जीवात्मा परमात्मनोः. So here it is said nishidya nikhilopadhin. Nishidya, negating all the upadhis. And on what basis should we negate? क्यों negate करें? क्योंकि शास्त्र की स्टेटमेंट है. And for us shastra is pramana. So shastra statement is there. And what is the statement? Na iti vakyataha. So vakyataha is the shastra statement. What does it say? Na iti. Na iti. So, and then having negated Mahavakyehi Vidyat, with the help of Mahavakyas, Vidyat, may you recognize what? Jivatma Paramatmanoho Aikyam. May you recognize the identity of the individual and Paramatma, Paratma. That means the limitless self. May you recognize the universal self, the individual self and the universal self. Iski identity may you recognize. So in this verse we are being told how to know Atma. First, Nikhila upadhin. Nikhila upadhin nishidhya. Nikhila means all, sarva, all. Upadhin. Upadhin is plural for upadhi. What kind of upadhis? Stula sharira, सूक्ष्म शरीर, कारण शरीर. इन तीनों शरीरों को निषिध्य, negate them, negating all these upadhis as not being our true nature. Why? Because they are temporary. Later on it will come. They are drishyam. Firstly, they are object of knowledge, and secondly, they are temporary. I am not an object. I am the subject. I am the knower. Iti. So, what Shastra is saying is that you are pure infinite consciousness having a human experience. नहीं तो हमें लगता है कि I am a human being having a spiritual experience. ऐसा नहीं है. I am pure infinite consciousness having a human experience. So I found this little, slide. ये picture मुझे मिला internet पे. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Instead of spiritual beings, we know what we are. We know that we are pure infinite consciousness having a temporary human experience. So we are pure infinite permanent consciousness having a temporary human experience. That could be one way of saying. Yes, certainly I am endowed with the body-mind complex. I am associated with it. Hindi word for associated I was looking yesterday, संबद्ध. मैं चैतन्य हूं और शरीर के साथ संबद्ध हूं. ठीक है. आई एम एसोसिएटेड विद शरीर. आई एम एसोसिएटेड विद मनस. आई एम एसोसिएटेड विद द माइंड. आई एम एसोसिएटेड विद इंद्रिया, द सेंसेस. आई एम एसोसिएटेड विद prana. Association with all of them is there, but they are not my true permanent nature. None of it is my true nature. Why? I am the subject. All these are my objects, right? I am, you can say in a way, I am the knower. So I am the one who knows the body, the mind, the intellect, senses, prana, memories, ego, ignorance. So being the knower, I am separate from what is the known. I am totally separate from it. Iti. Why are we calling consciousness as the knower, not the mind? It is from the standpoint of Vedanta that mind is jada. If mind is jada, inert, how can it know? Knowing always rests in a conscious being. So consciousness is being called as a knower here. Because without the presence of consciousness, चैतन्य के बिना, ठीक है, हम जान ही नहीं सकते हैं. We cannot know without the presence of consciousness. So here, Shastra is saying, Nishidya nikhilopadhin. Nishidya, negating all the upadhis. Why? Because all the upadhis mithya, all the upadhis drishyam, they are objects. Correct? All the upadhis are temporary in nature. All these are the reasons for negating. It is object. It is temporary. Iti. Then having negated them, understood them as mithya, iti, what should you do? In fact, all the upadhis are nothing but instruments. I am the one using those instruments. I am the one who is using those instruments to have an experience, a human experience. Iti. Body is instrument, mind is instrument, intellect is instrument. ये सब instruments हैं हमारे. Iti. जैसे later on, I brought this argument right here. I've used it later on, but I think this is a good point to use the argument just to show you that supposing, car is my instrument. I don't call the car as me. My spectacles are instrument with which I see. I don't say the spectacles are me. So body, mind, senses, they are हमारे कारण है, instrument, correct? With which I have different experiences. Using them I have. And your Shastra is saying Nishidya. Okay? Understand them. You have to negate them because they are Drishyam, they are temporary, they are Mithya. Iti. Then how do you know yourself? Vakyataha. Use Shastra. Shastra is the Pramana. Vakyataha. Shastras, Vakya you use. The Mahavakyas are there. Or before that, we want to do the Nisheda, not the Mahavakyas yet. Nisheda we are doing. What is the Nisheda? Na iti, na iti. That means whatever is the object, na iti, means not this. This is referring to the body. This is referring first to the world. I am not the world. Okay. I am not the body, not this, this body, not this mind, not this intellect, not this prana. Na iti, na iti. It's a very famous statement from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Okay. Na iti, na iti. Okay. So, not this, not this. So, what all am I not? Iti. So, there is a rule, anything that I know, anything which is known to me is not me. And therefore, Shastra says, I am not my body. Because body is an object known to me. I am the conscious being, okay, in whose presence the body is known. And therefore, body is not me. ये एकदम fit करना पड़ता है बुद्धि के अंदर. My prana, which means the life force, that is also an object known to me. And who am I? I am the conscious being. Okay? Sense organs, they are also known to me. Indriya, they are object of my knowledge. I am the conscious being. So they are known to me, therefore they are not me. That's the rule. Anything known to me is not me. Okay. Then many sensations occur in my mind. All of those objects are not me. So anything known to me is not me. Like this bottle. Okay. This bottle is known to me. Is it me? I'm very clear it's not me. In the same way, whatever is known to me is not me. Whatever occurs in my mind is known to me is not me. Any sensations that arise, anything known or knowable is not me. Okay? Emotions that arise, we all think our emotions are me, not me. When I do EFT for people, I will ask them, what are you feeling right now? That's a different person, okay? Then I am a I'm a EFT practitioner. What are you feeling right now? Okay. Where in the body are you feeling it? What kind of a sensation is it? Does it have a touch? Does it have a color? Does it have a form? Does it have a smell? Does it have a taste? At what number is your distress? So one person for whom I was doing EFT, she tells me I'm feeling helplessness like a pitch black cage in my heart. As though there is a very dark cage in my heart and I can't see anything inside it. That kind of helplessness I am feeling. Then we tap. Even though I'm feeling this black, dark cage, pitch dark cage in my heart, so helpless I'm feeling. And it's at number 10 on 10. Okay? I still love and accept myself. Or I will do the inner child matrix and say, even though you are feeling it. Now, all this is said. Yet, what is Shastra telling us? That none of it is the consciousness that you are. The dark, black cage is not there in your consciousness. It is there in your mind, but it is not there in the consciousness that you are. Iti. Consciousness is totally free. of that feeling of helplessness, of the sensations in the body. She was having like her heart is being squeezed, her navel is being squeezed. Iti. She's having all those sensations in the body of being squeezed. Iti. Consciousness is free of being squeezed. Iti. Okay? See what Shastra is telling us, such a huge thing that Shastra is telling us. Consciousness is totally free of all these sensations, of all the feeling in the body. It's amazing. So, Shastra's message is what? Your consciousness. What kind of consciousness? Changeless consciousness. Emotions are known to you. Happiness and sadness are known to you. Who are you? You are the conscious being, Swaprakasha Chaitanya, in whose presence this happiness in the mind, the sadness in the mind, both of them are revealed. Both of them are illumined. Okay? You are that presence. Okay? And being consciousness, you are separate and distinct. This is very important. You are separate and distinct from all that is known to you, including all the sadness and happiness vrittis which are taking place in your mind. Therefore, these emotions are not you. Just because they are known to you, like this bottle is known. That's the only, Shastra is using one very simple logic. The world is known to you. You know very well that the walls in your house are known to you. You are not the walls. Same logic Shastra is using. You know you're not the walls in your room. That means it is known to you. It is not you. Same logic. If something is known to you, it is not you. Iti. So that's why they say na iti. Iti. Not this. What? This is referring to whatever is known to you. Not whatever is known to you. You are not whatever is known to you. Naiti, naiti. That is the Shastra statement. On the basis of the Shastra statement, Nishidya Sarva Upadhi. Nikhila Upadhi. Okay? On the basis of this Shastra statement, naiti, naiti, because Shastra is Pramanam. And Shastra through logic has shown us that, hey, you know something? These are all known to you. Just like the world which is known to you is not you, so too this body, this mind, it all falls in the same category of being known. Therefore, it is not you. It is Drishyam. It is temporary. You are not Drishyam. You are the Drik. You are the seer. You are not an object. You are not an object. Okay? You are not temporary. Drishyam is temporary. You are permanent. Okay? You are not mithya, drishyam is mithya, you are satyam. So that kind of, differentiation is done between the drig and the drishya, between the seer and the seen, iti, and therefore you are not this, iti. So, step 1 is the first half of the verse, Nishidya Nikhilopadhin, Neti Neti Vakyataha. Okay? The process of negation. That I am not what I know or what I can know. Okay. Now, note one thing, that negation cannot give us complete knowledge. Can negation give us complete knowledge? Negation cannot. Supposing I wanted to give you knowledge of an elephant. Okay? Supposing you don't know what is elephant. You have never seen an elephant. आपको पता ही नहीं है elephant क्या है इति. Just suppose. So just as an example, I want to define an elephant through negation. So what will I say? Elephant is not a cow. Elephant is not a bottle. Elephant is not a rock. Elephant is not a house. Elephant is not a planet. Okay. You will say, okay, fine. But tell me, when will this process of negation lead to knowledge? It cannot lead to knowledge, right? But still, negation is necessary. Unless you negate the snake, you won't know it is a rope. So in order to know it's a rope, you have to negate the snake. Whatever is the wrong conclusion, usko negate karna padega. So the first step is negation. Shankaracharya is saying, if you want Atmabodha, the first step is to negate. And if you have to negate, then you must know all these steps properly, right? What should I negate? Number one, you should know what you need to negate. So whatever is an object, whatever is, that means whatever is an object means whatever is drishyam, whatever is temporary, whatever is mithya, whatever has a dependent existence, that has to be negated. Okay. But since negation alone cannot give us knowledge, we need the second step. Okay. Negation is crucial. What are we going to negate? All the false conclusions. What are my conclusions? I am this body. I am the senses. I am the prana. I am the mind. I am the intellect. These are my conclusions. This has to be negated. So what will I have to first say? I am not this body. I am not this mind. I am not this prana. I am not this senses. Hey, bhai, how am I going to relate with my body then? Understand them to be instruments. They are instruments. Okay? They are in the place of instruments. You are the conscious being. They are the instruments. Okay? Right? Like I told you, my car is an instrument for me to travel around, but I am not my car. It's just an instrument. My spectacles are an instrument for me to see, but I am not the spectacles. Spectacles are something I use. Car is something I use. Instruments are things that I use. Okay? Okay. So having understood that I need to negate what I am not, and for that the logic should be very clear. Why should I negate? The second step is that you need to discover Vidyat. What should you discover? Aikyam. Aikyam Vidyat. May you discover the Aikyam, the oneness, the identity. And so in the last line, we have Jivatma Paramatmanoho Aikyam Vidyat. Jivatma Paramatmanoho, dual ending. So may you recognize Aikyam, the oneness. What does Jivatma mean? Jivatma simply means your consciousness. Atma is the self of the Jiva. You are the individual being. So the self of you is your consciousness. So Jivatma means your consciousness. And what is Paratma? Paratma is the all-pervading universal consciousness. So what is Shastra saying here? Recognize the identity of Jivatma, the individual consciousness, with Paratma, the universal consciousness. Meaning your consciousness is not separate from the universal consciousness. Meaning what? Jivatma is Paratma. Aikyam, identity. Jivatma is Paratma. As consciousness, there is no difference. Okay? Okay. Like example, wave, and there is this wave in this ocean. Now wave is so small, ocean is so big. But as water, is there any difference? There is no difference. Wave is also water, ocean is also water. So as consciousness, there is absolutely no difference between Jivatma and Paratma. No distinction. A more mundane example, like there is no distinction between the electricity in one computer and electricity in another computer. It is one electricity alone in all the computers, right? so too there is one consciousness present in all living beings. Iti. But in terms of our experience, we may distinguish, yeah, my consciousness is different from your consciousness, but really speaking, in truth, it is not so. It is all one and the same. Mind is different, no doubt. But as consciousness, there is no difference. So we are being told here, Vidyat. May you understand, may you discover, may you recognize what? Aikyam, the oneness of Jivatma, your individual consciousness, and Paratma, the universal consciousness. May you discover, may you realize the identity of your consciousness with universal consciousness. And how will you do that? Mahavakyahi. Okay? Through the Mahavakyas. Resort to the Mahavakyas. Take refuge in the Mahavakyas. What does Mahavakya means? Mahavakya. A big statement. It's a technical word in Vedanta. So, any statement that is revealing to you the identity of the individual and the whole, okay, the microcosm and the macrocosm. Any statement that reveals to you the identity of both the individual and the whole, that is called as a Mahavakya. Okay. So, let's look at that. Mahavakya. So, that we already told you, any statement that reveals the identity of the individual and the whole, that is Mahavakya. Okay. For example, Tat Tvam Asi. What does Tat mean? Tat means Tat, that. What is that referring to? Universal consciousness. Tvam, your individual consciousness. Asi. Asi means is. So I've simplified it. Okay. So your consciousness is the universal consciousness. That is what it comes to. Wow. My consciousness is the universal consciousness. Your consciousness is non-different from the universal consciousness. We have another Mahavakya. Ayam Atma Brahma. Ayam Atma means this consciousness, you know. You will say like that, this consciousness. The consciousness that is here. This consciousness. What is it? That means the Jivatma's consciousness. Your consciousness. Ayam Atma, Jivatma. What is it? Brahma. It is Brahman. There is no distinction at all. So we speak of 4 Mahavakyas, one from each Veda. But Mahavakya doesn't mean only these 4. Any statement that reveals the identity between Jivatma and Paramatma, individual consciousness, okay, and the universal consciousness is Mahavakya. So now, in summary, there are 2 steps for Atmabodha. What are the 2 steps? Negate the upadhis, meaning negate all your wrong conclusions about yourself. Now you already know you're a conscious being. इसमें तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. Each of us will say, हाँ, मैं तो चैतन्य consciousness तो हूँ. ठीक है? But there are many wrong conclusions about that consciousness. That consciousness has a birthday. That consciousness maybe has a gender. Consciousness may have an age. All these are wrong conclusions. So step 1 is negate. Nishidya. Neti, neti. Na iti, na iti, iti. Remove all those wrong conclusions. But negation is not enough to know the truth. As we saw, you can't define the elephant through negation. You can't understand your true self only through negation. So use the Mahavakyas. That's why understanding of Shastra being a pramana is so important. You know, that Shastra is a means of knowledge to know something which we cannot know otherwise. That is the meaning of pramana. Pramana means It is a means of knowledge. ज्ञान का एक साधन है. Praman means ज्ञान साधन. Jnana sadhan to give us knowledge about that which we can't know otherwise. So Mahavakya is a pramanam. Mahavakya like Tattvamasi. And Mahavakya is showing you the identity between your consciousness and universal consciousness. So Shraddha must be there that Shastra is a pramana. Otherwise this will not work. So all these years, इसके बाद जब आत्मबोध में ये फिर से देखती हूँ तो आई एम सो अमेज्ड कि हमारे शास्त्र इतनी प्रोफाउंड है, इतनी सुंदर है, इतनी सोफिस्टिकेटेड है हमारी टीचिंग मेथोडोलॉजी. वेदांत की जो टीचिंग मेथोडोलॉजी है इतनी सोफिस्टिकेटेड है. 2 स्टेप, नेगेशन फॉलोड बाय रेवलेशन ऑफ द आइडेंटिटी. बहुत ही ब्रिलियंट है. आई डोंट थिंक यू विल फाइंड इट एनीवेयर एल्स. ओके. So now let's look at the next verse. I had a summary for this, but it's not required. मैंने बहुत ही detail में बता दी. So next verse is अविद्यकं शरीरादि दृश्यं बुद्बुदवत्क्षरम् एतद्विलक्षणं विद्यात् अहं ब्रह्मेति निर्मलम्. Aha. So he says shariradi, avidyakam, the body, etc. Avidyakam means that which is born of ignorance. And what are they? Drishyam. They are all objects. Okay? They are all objects perceived by me. And how are they? Budbudavat ksharam. They are all temporary. They are perishable, like bubbles. Born, gone, born, gone, born, gone. They're all drishyam. Like bubbles, they go. Iti. So, recognize Vidyat, what? Aham Brahmeti Nirmalam. Recognize that I am pure Brahman. Aham Brahmeti Nirmalam. And I am completely separate. Etad Vilakshanam. I am completely separate from all of these. All of these means all that is Drishyam. Whatever is an object of our knowledge, I am completely separate from that. Whatever is an object of knowledge, shariradi, avidyakam. They're all born of ignorance, iti. So in this verse, we are using the Drigdrishya Prakriya, the methodology of the seer and the seen. Okay? Seer-seen methodology. What does it do? It distinguishes between the seer and the seen. The Drig, the seer, and the Drishyam, the seen. And basically it says what we saw before, anything that is known to you or knowable by you is not you. So we start with Drishyam. That which is seen by you is not you. So in the first line we have Shariradi. Sharira. Sharira means your body. Adi means mind. Everything else, whatever wrong conclusions we have, mind, intellect, etc. All that will come under Adi means etc. So Shariradi, what is it? It is Drishyam. It is an object. It is seen by you. Therefore, we saw the rule before. Whatever is seen by you is not you. Therefore, you are not a body. And we saw we are associated with the body. We can say we have a body. But you can't say I am the body. Okay? It's not an accurate statement. Because body is just an instrument. For whom? For the consciousness that you are. Okay? It's an instrument. So not only is your body seen by you, Adi, etc. brings in the mind, thoughts, emotions, memories, ignorance, experiences. Even your ego is seen by you, experienced by you. And we use the same rule, anything experienced by you is not you. Who are you? You are the consciousness in whose presence they are all illumined and enlivened. You are the seer, the experiencer. You are that consciousness in whose ever presence they are all experienced. And all of these, the body, the mind, the senses, intellect, memory, ego, all of this and the world, all of it is what? Avidyakam. Avidya, from the word avidya, avidyakam comes. So avidyakam means born of, that which is born of avidya, that which is born of ignorance. Avidya naturally is ignorance, and that which is born of ignorance is called as avidyakam. Okay. So body is avidyakam. It's born of ignorance. In what sense? If you didn't have ignorance, if you had been enlightened in your prior life, you wouldn't have been born in this life. So here there is a reference to the doctrine of karma. Because of ignorance in the prior life, you are subject to being born again. Okay, so this is referring to karma theory, referring to reincarnation, transmigration. So because of ignorance, which was not resolved in previous life, you are born again into this body. So not, he's put Adi there, so not only the body, the world also. The world around us too. Just as the body exists because of ignorance, so too the world exists because of ignorance. So here there is a small, there's a theory here. The world goes through cycles of creation and dissolution. Previously, the universe was in a state of dissolution, then it became manifest. What caused it to manifest? In Vedanta, we'll ask what caused it to manifest. The world becomes manifest for the sake of fructification of the karmas committed in prior cycles of the universe. So karmas which have not yet fructified. So unfructified karmas, jo karma abhi tak, I don't know the word in Hindi, they have to fructify. So from the prior cycle of creation, it causes the universe to become manifest again in the succeeding cycle of creation. तो बहुत सारे कर्मा ऐसे हैं जो फ्रक्टिफाई नहीं हुआ था, उसके कारण सब जीवों का, not only you, all the jivas. Okay, so all those karmas in the prior cycle of creation were committed because of avidya. If everyone was enlightened, there would be no one to commit any karma. But because everyone is in a state of ignorance, all the people in the prior cycle of creation, they all committed karma. And those accumulated karmas eventually led to the generation of the next cycle of creation. Yeah, it's a little complex, but that is the theory of karma. So here he is saying, avidyakam shariradi. Body, mind, senses and world, they are all avidyakam, they are all born of ignorance, all a product of ignorance. And additionally, he is saying they are all drishyam, they are seen by you, they are experienced by you, and therefore they are not you. Being experienced by you, they are not you. You are the experiencer. And then he brings in a very nice, again he brings in a point about anything that is an object of your knowledge, anything that is an object of your experience, any experience that you have is budbudavat ksharam. All of that is ksharam. Ksharam means subject to destruction, that which gets destroyed, constantly decaying. That means everything is budbudavat, like a bubble, temporary. Born, gone, born, gone, born, gone. Right? Yeah. Every moment is like that, no? It's born, gone. Born, gone. You, the one in whose presence all the born gone happens, is not born gone. Okay? Okay. So your body, mind, senses, universe, they're all created. And therefore, so there is a rule, yadyat kritakam tad anityam. Yadyat kritakam. Kritakam means that which is created. Tad tad anityam. That is temporary. It is anityam. It is subject to destruction. It is subject to going. Anything that is created is subject to destruction, is subject to going. So this is the very important, principle here. Yadyat kritakam tad anitya. Okay, anything created is subject to destruction. I don't think I made a slide for that, unfortunately. So your body was created, born of ignorance. It is subject to destruction. Okay. So along with your body, mind, senses, okay, all subject to budbudavat ksharam, like a bubble, born, gone. And it is also drishyam. It is seen, experienced by you. It is not you. You are the seer. You are not the seen. Meaning you are the content or the basis of the knower. You're not the known. You're the content, the basis of the experiencer. You are not the experienced. So that's why Shankaracharya says here, etad vilakshanam vidya. May you understand, may you recognize that your consciousness is vilakshanam. It is distinct from, it is different from all that is objectified by you, either through your senses or your mind. Iti. So what helped me to understand, to know that's okay, okay. What helped me was that to know that something is changing. Let me stop the share. To know that something is changing, there must be a changeless reference. Right? Okay, which is different from the changing. So that changeless reference can only be me. I am that self-revealing consciousness. It can only be me because I am the one who knows the changing. I am the one who is knowing what is changing. Iti. And since I am knowing what is changing, I must be changeless. Otherwise, how can I know what is changing? Iti? So for me, the changeless consciousness has to be different from the changing, from the drishyam. So I understood both the points in one go, that whatever is drishyam, whatever is an object of knowledge, is different from me, the consciousness in whose presence they are known. Right? And me, that consciousness, has to be changeless, because unless I am changeless, I cannot know the changing. Iti. So me, the changeless consciousness, the seer, is different from the changing, from the drishyam. Iti. Seer, knower, experiencer. We're taking all these words for consciousness only. Because to be a seer, it means to be a conscious being who can see. To be a knower means you have to be a conscious being who can know. To be an experiencer, you have to be consciousness. So all that is referring to consciousness. And what Shankaracharya is saying is, etad vilakshanam vidyat. May you know that your consciousness is different from all that you objectify. All of them are drishyam, they are ksharam, they are avidyakam, born of ignorance. Iti. And now he makes a very bold statement. And so how should you know yourself? Aham brahmeti nirmalam. May you understand that you are different from whatever you know, whatever you experience. In fact, you are the very reality because of which everything exists. You are the reality that is called Brahman. May you understand that you are Brahman. Aham Brahma. I am Brahman. And what is Brahman? Always Nirmalam. It is that which is unaffected, untainted, in which has got no malam in it, okay, which is absolutely pure, always free of all aspects of worldly existence. Aham Brahma Nirmalam iti Vidyat. Meaning what? Soham. That I am. Saha Aham. Saha that. Aham. I am. Soham. Soham is a mantra. In our sannyas mantra, we say that Soham. Chinmayoham. Satchidananda Swarupam. Soham. Iti. It's part of the mantra. I don't have the right to give the mantra, so Soham. So with this verse, Shankaracharya concludes this section on the consciousness, which is self-revealing, on Atma, which is self-revealing. And so notice that the first half is negation, the second half is arriving at the already existent truth. Already existent, Remember, we were in the dark road and the rope was already there. But we projected a snake on the rope. So first we have to get rid of that snake. How? By understanding that, the rope is not, the snake is not real. And in that understanding the snake is not real, the rope is revealed as real. Iti. In the same way, our divine nature of Satchidananda is already there. Okay. And with that now, from next verse onwards, we will have Nididhyasana verses. Very beautiful verses are going to come, and they will all be for the sake of, Nididhyasana means you recognize the truth. Once you recognize the truth, then again and again you see it because there is so much conditioning. So to decondition yourself, you see the truth again and again and again. And for that, there are a lot of verses. So we will see those verses from next time. Okay. Om. And with that, we conclude. And we still have, if anybody has a question, you can ask me. If I'm able to answer, I will answer it. If I'm not able to answer, I will ask my seniors and I will answer. So, welcome to ask me anything. Okay.
Swamini ji, Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. I never give up. No? The Visarga is to be told, by the way. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Huh.
You have explained.
Yes, Sunita, tell me.
Hanji. You have put it so beautifully that I am pure infinite consciousness having a human experience. I mean, so beautiful.
Absolutely.
We always think I am a human being having a spiritual experience. So this is
exactly
how we should look at it. Again and again, this is how we have to practice.
Again and again, that is all. Again and again, see. Now, and I will put in a little note there, okay? Again and again, you see this, but this doesn't mean that you deny your humanness, okay? In our humanness, meaning before this knowledge becomes absolutely, absolutely firm, okay? There can be sadness, there can be all kinds of emotions, they will come up. It's normal. So you don't judge yourself, you don't judge others, you accept your humanness, okay? It's okay, you're in the process, and do whatever is necessary. What I have found in the Vedanta world is that there will be a big tendency, because this knowledge, is so amazing, that sometimes we will tend to bypass our humanness, okay, and try to be very spiritual. That will not work in the long run. So if there are any issues, which the mind is facing or the heart is facing, those need to be recognized, those need to be processed, and then we can move with great courage and strength, because you become so strong when they are all processed, so we need to know those ways of processing, etc., etc. And then you are, you're fine. Because you will find that when you recognize this truth, you'll find that it's okay to be just a normal human being. It doesn't hurt your truth at all. It doesn't hurt you. And so it may look like I'm speaking contradictorily, but I'm not. Okay. And so be kind to yourself. Sometimes, when we have this, because Vedanta teaching can be so clear, you will see something in the class so clearly. After that, the storm will begin, If there is something inside, जो अंदर अंदर है, वो उबल उबल के आएगी ऊपर. So जब उबल उबल के आएगी and you can't handle it, you can ask me. I will work with you with EFT. And उबल उबल के आई and you are able to handle it, no problem. Well and good. Okay?
Thank you.
It's all Ishvara. Yeah? Okay. And so for the rest of us, if anybody has a question, you're welcome.
No, जो आपने बताया ये उबल उबल के आएगा, I feel that it is because that all of us, we are not able to, we are listening to the Vedanta, but we are having that sadhan chatushtay. All those things are not totally, digested by us.
Yeah,
the
correct.
the
Absolutely
purity,
correct.
the purity of the mind.
Absolutely correct.
And
Yeah.
that nitya nitya viveka and mokshaktam, and then that sat sampatti, all those things, if we incalculate in ourselves, which takes a long time, it can come in a
Long,
chutki
it can
bait.
take many lifetimes also.
many lifetimes.
It's
So
okay.
whatever
It
जो
can
आपने
take
भी
time.
बताया
It doesn't
है,
matter.
जो आपने भी बताया, it is
Doesn't
better
matter.
to be human and continue studying this Vedanta
Yes.
under your guidance.
And doing your sadhana.
Yes.
Yeah, and doing your sadhana. Don't fall into the spiritual bypass.
Yes.
Because I've seen so many people falling into that trap. It's a big trap.
No, it is a very dangerous.
You're not ready, and then you keep saying, no iti, no iti.
No, easy, no, easy.
So be careful, be honest. All that you require is honesty. Solid honesty with yourself. Be very, very honest. And then you're fine. Honesty and Shraddha and devotion and lot of love of Lord. Understanding that even whatever is there in the Antakarana is also Lord's presence. Lord's presence is always there in everything. That takes you through everything. Therefore, I emphasize a lot on devotion. Devotion takes you through
and the purity of mind, I think. And when the mind is
devotion
pure,
gives the purity of mind.
Purity of
Devotion
mind, that
will give
Antakaran
that
Shuddhi,
purity.
those are basic and fundamentals, I think. They are the very important part of it.
Yeah. So, Vedanta classes are so beautiful because at that moment, you can see something, you will begin to recognize a lot of things.
Yes.
And,
I start thinking I am Jagat Karana, you see.
As conscious, if you say I am Jagat Karanam, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you have negated Sarva Upadhi,
that's difficult.
Nikhila Upadhi Nishidya, then you can say I am Jagat Karanam.
Yes,
but without Nishidya, without negating, if you say I am Jagat Karanam, it will not. It's not correct. It's incorrect.
No, that is what you pointed out. जो अभी आपने बताया उसका मतलब ही यही है कि we don't have that purity of mind.
So that negation is to be done. Then you can say, if you are able to negate it.
Yes.
Okay.
Well.
Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay, see you all for the